It has been 8.5 years since the start of the war in Iraq, with almost 4,500 American lives lost. But now the end is little more than 2 months away. That was the message from President Obama today. He says he will not keep any American troops in Iraq after the end of the year. Conventional wisdom had been a few thousand would remain. But Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry tells us that is no longer the plan.
After nearly 9 years, America's war in Iraq will be over.
President Obama never said victory. The word is too politically charged after all of the sacrifice and all of the controversy over whether mission accomplished was declared too early, though Mr. Obama did call it a success.
The last American soldier will cross the border out of Iraq with their heads held high, proud of their success, and knowing that the American people stand united in our support for our troops.
But given recent violence in Iraq, top Republicans warned the real victory could go to Iran, taking advantage of a vacuum, with Senator Lindsey Graham today warning failing to leave at least a small force will, quote, come back to haunt our country. In anticipation of the announcement, Senator John McCain suggested this is a diplomatic failure because the president would have kept some troops behind but waited too long to cut a deal with the Iraqi government on legal immunity for U.S. troops.
We didn't have any priority to the issue, and then it took them up until a month or so ago to decide how many troops they really wanted.
In some ways, the announcement was anticlimactic. The president's rise in 2008 was fueled by his opposition to the war, and he vowed to end it in his first term. Late in 2008, it was then President Bush at the now infamous shoe-throwing news conference who signed the agreement to remove all U.S. troops by the end of this year.
In the aftermath of Muammar Gaddafi's death and the Arab Spring, the presence of American troops in any Arab country is increasingly controversial.
After Colonel Gaddafi's death Thursday, the president could not resist a mention of the killing of Osama bin Laden, and he did it again today, using bin Laden to try and cast the Iraqi pullout as being part of a broader victory for his administration.
The end of war in Iraq reflects a larger transition. The tide of war is receding. The drawdown in Iraq allowed us to refocus our fight against al-Qaeda and achieve major victories against its leadership, including Osama bin Laden.
That bin Laden reference was not an accident. When this president took office, there were 180,000 U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. By the end of this year, that number will have been cut in half. And while jobs will be the #1 issue next year, advisors say part of the president's case will be that he wound down both wars and still stayed on offense. Chris?
Ed Henry reporting from the White House. Ed, thanks for that.